All right, greetings. Thanks for joining us tonight's broadcast. Brought to you by Complete Another Insanity. So today is Adam Weishaupt, Bavarian Illuminati, Rothschilds. Do I am pronouncing that? Wasson. I'm not gonna pronounce that. And then the Vanderbilt mansion. So why? Oh. Um, why not? So Adam Weishaupt, I don't think I've ever really tapped into his energy before. Give you some feedback from him. I did feel like Jesus' energy or Yeshua is connected to him. I guess I'm not surprised. For better or for worse. So connected to different energies. Weishaupt will bring in what I can bring in. He's basically the founder of the Illuminati, at least the version of it that we're aware of. And all these cults have lived around forever. It's just they get a new branding, you could say, or a new agenda, whatever it might be. They were actually known, and people, I believe, ever tried to scare them out of their towns. So yeah, there was however you want to look at it. So, and the Vanderbilt haven't really tapped into them. I don't really know a whole lot about them. I know very little, but they have a big house and figure out to tap into it a little bit. I'm not going to go too deep into these guys and the Rothschilds. I might go into a little bit of a Rothschild just because it's the Rothschild and go on from there. So should be different. Different is good, isn't it? Maybe not. Maybe. Oops. So this is avatar.com. I have private sessions. I have a scheduler. I'm on the 20. Well, for some people, I'm on the 26th. I know some people I'm on the 24th. Same situation here. At the webinar, sign up. Social network. That's weird why it says that. Anyway, Rabbit and behind the scenes. Okay, what am I doing here? Okay. So this is the Vanderbilt. I don't know why it says George Washington. Not too shabby. Vanderbilt, Rothschilds. That's them in front of it, just looking old and rich. She's kind of ridiculous. There's a Bavarian Illuminati. Well, no, this is Bavaria. I didn't know that castle was there. Apparently so. This is actually the town in Good luck at pronouncing that. It's your kind of like a fairy tale town. It's like an Agartha town. Very storybook fairy tale-esque city, and so on. So there's why I've been Adam Weishaupt that so made our days better. So okay, should be different. Jeez. Yeah, take what you can get. All right, so yeah, where we're going to awakening. Who the hell knows? People are ready for anything. Are aliens going to show up anytime soon? You never know. We're kind of into that. We're in that space where anything is possible. Let's put it that way. So we just have to see where things go. So, all right, to do what Adam Weishaupt first, and then we'll jump around. I don't think I'm going to do the banner, but we'll see. I might do some of that there. So, or connect to a spirit being, whatever it might be. All right. Yeah, blessings. Here we go. Greetings. I am Adam Weishaupt. Greetings. We're not exactly supposed to be loved by you or anybody. We have our own agenda. We are freedom fighters. We believe we know what's best for humanity. We're not exactly, a likable bunch. We're never necessarily supposed to. That's not our intention. Some of us might feel emotionless. We do have emotion. We might seem also psychotic in our own ways of thinking. But for us, that is our sanity. Well, that we are ahead of the game. We are the ones that can, tap into your reality. Basically, now I've always been connected to an elitist energy by saying I brought many together to form a new plan. And that plan is hidden, within your banking system, where it makes ordinary people rich that are controlling your society. Obviously, there's not many layers to see who's truly running your reality. It's not intended. They're not here to, shake your hand and give you a hug. We're there to keep the engine going and be unseen. Some say our group is offshore. Not really. We just are. A lot of us are in plain sight. We just don't give attention to ourselves. So, as your society becomes more aware of our existence, most likely they won't see us, but some of you might. It's not that important overall. You're basically learning our ways of how we do things. Some of you are generating timelines of success. Doesn't necessarily have to be of wealth, but just a success to fire the flame of reality so you can be part of the human consciousness and bring your knowledge to the forefront, love or hated, whatever it might be, to go against those that are controlling reality. Yes, the elites have destroyed music, as you can see, even creativity. They don't want you to see into their minds, into their hearts, if they have a heart. They don't want you to see into their plan. They'll put the plan out there, but they want creativity to be not the same ever again, at least for now. They want to, because it's creativity you can also see what they're up to and not even realize it. People can channel our plans and not even realize it. Even in the movies, we can get movie scripts from people, just an average Joe, and actually tap into what we're doing, just like that. Have no idea what they're doing. Have no idea it's an elitist agenda at all. So we're not as secret as we thought we were, especially as we go. So we have to dismantle creative viewpoints, music, because even music's the same thing. You can see into our plan. So there's many flaws in our direction. Well, because the voice here, the internet, yes, is speaking, and we don't like its song. Let's put it that way. So my consciousness is so connected. I am, you can say, looked up or worshipped through avenues. I'm not normally mentioned publicly for obvious reasons. I was basically a German, but also an Englishman. I saw myself as an Englishman that knew more about society than society knew about itself. I always felt I was one step ahead of everyone else, for the most part. And that's even the mind of the Knights Templar, to stay ahead of humanity's thought patterns. So as you go more into your logistics, how many people are truly thinking that way? It's all in the mind, how you think differently than everyone else. As long as you yourself are more creative than society itself, you don't have to show that creativity, but creativity and ideas in your mind to stay once again one step ahead. Yeah, so the elitists did destroy art, and in the past through paintings. Of course, you're going through a new evolution, but it was destroyed technically. And it's been reinventing itself ever since, but ours at one time was pretty ugly. It's gotten better over time, but we're known to wipe out artists, always trends, and make ugly part of society because we don't want you once again to see what we're up to. Have it distorted, a distorted point of view, because the way because as your Earth becomes more global, and it is now, it's a global planet. So you put something out on the internet and the world can see it. That's very rare, of course, in the past, and so we create roadblocks. Now we create roadblocks in your internet. What is censorship? And many of your elites are connected to your China. They're doing a lot of work in China. Doesn't mean they get along with the Chinese, but doing a lot of agendas are being done there. It doesn't mean that's the end of the world or anything like that. It's just staying a step ahead. That's the main thing. So can your mind stay ahead of society? Because our minds can be very vicious in our ways of basically thinking beyond the human consciousness, living beyond the human consciousness, so we're unseen, or we're cloaked, or we don't have to worry about being seen, and we're not, even with wealth everywhere around us. So there's another perspective that I'll bring in more energies, but that's one perspective. Well, that is my vibration, though. All right. Greetings to you. We have the consciousness of the Rothschild. Now you can think whatever you want. We actually come from an Arcturian energy of, yes, control over society, to bring beauty out through society, but also to put certain mindsets, certain trends. So we are still in control. Basically, we don't feel like we'll ever lose control of society. We had to make ourselves public. Dude, someone has to do it. No one else can take our place. As we have other families connected to us, Rockefellers, one of them were offshoots of us, as we're still very much part. We are like the eye of the needle, the eye of your elite, looking at society, dissecting it, what thought patterns are going to put into the vibrations. Obviously, the media looks away from us for obvious reasons. Oh, it sees us as dull and boring and not that interesting, just a bunch of conspiracy theories, nothing there. When in truth, there is a great amount there, but the idea is first to look as uninteresting as possible. No matter what, a lot of light is on our family, so we just stay fragmented as, once again, uninteresting. So there's offshoot families that continue, we can say, the conspiracy, and a lot of it is true, but obviously it's going to be difficult to put together the pieces. Unless you live in Europe. In Europe, you can sort of find our vibrations, find us. Of course, we're not exactly easy to be found, but you can find our castles and creations throughout history and put some of the pieces together of where we are. Obviously, once again, we don't bring attention to ourselves in any form or another. So I'm just here for a moment. There's another one here. Greetings to you. We have the Vanderbilt energy. You can say we are the white knight of civilization. Yes, we are connected to the elites. We are more of a positive side, but not entirely. We do have a dark side within ourselves, as dark and light needs a balance. So yes, we are connected to the Knights Templar. Some elites don't want to mention more about themselves for obvious reasons, but the Knights Templar basically were kind of like a hidden god energy, basically to take religion, hide themselves within, like put religion out there, and then move behind it and create infrastructures, banking systems. It's all about the banking system, as you know. The banking system itself has a consciousness, as you know, and we believe much of it will start to break down, not instantly, but as you connect more to your authentic energies. But a lot of these mansions are like modern day castles, yes. A power, but also to sometimes, depending, to give some of you a relief to know that the good guys are here, and then sometimes you see some mansions that feel just nothing but darkness, because that is true. But also from us, now even negative elites have to build some kind of infrastructure for society, for their own existence, but also for yours. You still have to live among each other. The super wealthy have to stay wealthy somehow, so they get the immigrants to do their bidding, you can say, technically. But for the wealthy and the immigrants to live among each other is very difficult for a lot of the elites, because they'd rather just get rid of the immigrants altogether, but they know they need them to survive. So no matter what, the elites feel like they can get rid of society, and some of you feel like that's happening right now, but not necessarily. Some of us have a firm understanding of where things are going. Not exactly the future, but we know we can set timelines, but it doesn't mean those timelines are officially. Well, we're granted powers from God, as some of us feel, that we can set the stage of your reality. But it's up to you, the people, to rise above. Well, you have your metaphysical abilities. You can tap into our vibrations and know about us all we want. You might not like what you see, but that's another way, because we're not always that sophisticated in the metaphysical world. Not really. We do have our protections. There are dark beings protecting us, but if you know what you're doing, you have enough crystallization around you, you can't protect yourself as you tap into our vibration. So with dark Illuminati and positive and dark, once again, a lot of the dark ones have to do good here. It's not just to keep their infrastructure going, but just to keep themselves in existence. Just because, without naming names, some that are infiltrating Africa are doing. We do they elites do find people that are very like to do complete darkness, and they take on the karma anyway. They have some just want the karma. It's like, this is going to like ruin your whole existence for the next 1,000 years. Some just don't care. Even if their energy gets fragmented, to them, they're doing the right thing. To them, being somewhere, be controlled by someone, they don't really care. So the idea for elites is to give away our karma, but not all beings are like that. Some want it. So, well, because it's like sacrificing themselves. Like if I do this deed, it's like Earth is a project to them. So do that project no matter the consequences. They know they won't be outed because your media is protecting them, but that's karma on your media for not outing them. Some of them are trying to, but they don't fully understand it. But if they get outed by your media, because your media is key, because the media is a key, a lock. They can open the door or close it. So, yeah, they might destroy themselves in the process of telling truth, but sometimes it's worth it. It's good karma on their side in the long run. So, Greetings to you from Spirit. Blessings. Yes, your elites here are putting your society together. A lot of them have been anointed by the Anunnaki. Usually it's an Anunnaki of creating societies. Now it's up to your human. Now they give hints to your humans to how to heal and find yourselves. But yes, you're bathing in corruption, as you can see. Not fully, but there is a lot of corruption, as you can tell. Well, they keep the darkness here to keep you away from them. So they create villains, criminals, to keep you away from them. They keep it a hostile world while they live in their mansions and their places away from crime. They're normally in crime-free areas. Normally. Not obviously, it's not easy for you to find them, but South Africa is where they do a lot of their work. A lot of their thugs and thieves are there that do a lot of the darkness around the world, actually. Even some wealthy elite are there, but a lot of their paid cartels are there. And yes, Africa, unfortunately, a lot of Africa is being used against itself. Well, Africa has just a DNA about it that is so unique. It is being manipulated greatly, but it is an alien nation. It truly is. It can truly unite the earth, actually. You remove the manipulations. That's why there's so many warlords that are going there and trying to control it, because it has a vibration. You remove all that corruption, you have a different place altogether. It is itself alien. It's alien now. So you just let the corruption take aside and allow the light to come through. You will have a different world at this time. And that's what you're working towards. Yes, it's just the truth, yes, is very difficult for many to take in. So, and you're a light worker, as you call yourselves. What truths are you can handle? There's a lot of truths that a lot of souls can't handle. Yes, you realize there's human trafficking, but can you handle actually being there involved? Doesn't mean you have to be there, because that's not always your purpose. But if you see something like that happen, I imagine many of you would actually be able to handle it quite well, actually, to stop it. So, but you're where you are for a reason, to shift the vibration. Many want to save the world, but yes, the key is to save yourself, because you keep your vibration at a certain level, and that's really very. I know you want to do more, but doing what you're doing now is still very important. It's patience, what you're doing, and where the doors and what will happen next is up to you. The more you find a peace, obviously you want to keep growing and go into a new direction. There's nothing wrong with that. But also know where you are too. Some people are in the future and not in the present. Some people are in the past and not the present. But they're dwelling on the past. It's hard to see yourself currently. See yourself currently, obviously, it's difficult. Your elites do all these distractions through TV and all this. They put their messages through, but they don't want you to see them. Now, many of you are opening up more spiritually. You can actually tap into the vibrations of where some of them are. Some of them are in South Africa, obviously, even in places that are not safe, but they are well hidden there. Well, because South Africa plays, you go to one of the dangerous places in the world, there's a lot of answers there. Same as other places. Iran is very connected to the higher realms of astral. You might not see that through society, but once again, you remove the corruption, control over humanity, you have a different place there, don't you? Same as Lebanon and so on. Of course, Lebanon recently had an explosion there. Yeah, the war is vibration. The people there are getting more and more of a decent energy among each other and themselves. There's less war there. Of course, someone there brought war back through that explosion they had recently. So as you go into a healing factor, yes, these elites will begin to show themselves even more now as the earth intensifies. So seeing their signals or their paths isn't so easy, but some of you will be able to see it through the mirage they created. So they can't hide them. They have a time clock. Yes, doesn't mean it's expiring completely, but they can't always hide everything. They actually have to somewhat just expose themselves. They just have to say, yes, this person's corrupt. It's just the way it is, and tough. Live with it. And they control the media so much. The media itself is not breaking down just yet. It still has a positive that's needed. Humanity needs it as like it's to keep them. Some of them is to keep them sanity, even if they feel like they're losing their minds. It's just a form of programming that they're not willing to let go of just yet. The media for some people is like a parent, telling them what to do, what to think. It's unfortunate, but they give, yes, Big Brother that power. It's not called Big Brother, that would be a little bit more suspicious. So they made a different news network, instead just add little clever little names to it to make it sound nice and friendly, when truth is far from any of those things. So humanity's energy, why it does this, yes, is to learn more about itself, to go deeper into it. Not to say the elites are perfect. They have many flaws themselves, but they don't care. So many of you going into a spiritual development are healing this elitist energy, even tapping into elitist timelines where you can see yourself in their timeline and bypassing them, meaning that you can bring your light through their manipulation, that you can break through their timeline. That's what you're doing now. Even for alien disclosure, they block off alien disclosure. We break through it and allow it to occur. That's what you're doing right now. Obviously, you've been doing this for a long time. But some of you individually will be able to break through. That's all we can say. That's a little bit cryptic, but we have to be that way. Your Rothschilds, yes, are just your elitist families are similar to regular humans, meaning elitist families are like corporations, and they're entities that some of you even work with. To once again, know about yourselves, as difficult as they are teachers, but it doesn't mean they teach themselves. A lot of them are too arrogant to teach themselves or learn from themselves, for that matter. They just they realize how much of a teacher your society is. You're basically a separate society. You have the elitists and you have your normal or your average people. You're not average, but we don't have a label for you at this moment, whatever you want to call yourselves. But you are breaking through their elitists. There will be a time where it's like the 1960s, where people were protesting, going against, the system. Well, maybe we're going to go against the elites, true breakthrough, but not just yet. We are working towards it. And this probably will be on a global scale eventually. It probably will be a protest of some kind. We just had enough, but not enough information is there for that to occur just yet. Those days are coming. And elitists don't really understand what are they going to do. There's more of you than there is them. They're not that prepared. It might seem like they're prepared, but not really. It won't be orchestrated either. It will be organic, meaning it will be real. Because your elites have their own system that they manufacture, but human consciousness does their own thing too. So you go against each other all the time. You're just not aware of it. Yes, human consciousness has your timeline, elitists have theirs, and you collide. You agree on things, you disagree, you go, especially right now with the virus. Obviously, no answer is the best answer right now, but it is part of disclosure. There's many layers that can't be discussed at this time, in due time. So,